Good day, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today I thought I would cover a topic which I've been asked more than once since starting this channel, and that is, what should I get for a starter bike? In other words, what motorcycle should I get to learn on? Now, this is kind of a loaded question, as one answer may not quite be enough. Are you someone who had small bikes as a kid, or are you someone who has never ridden before? As for myself, my very first motorcycle was an old 50cc Suzuki from the 1960s, and from there I graduated to a 100cc Honda from the 1970s. It wasn't until I was 23 in 2001 that I bought my first big bike, or quote-unquote real bike, which was a 1993 883 Sportster. But the bottom line is, I would choose something small and light to start with. I have had some folks message and ask if the Lowrider S is a good beginner bike, and the quick answer from me would be a no. Having been asked questions like this, I thought it may be a good idea to look at a few bikes that I myself or one could look at if you are just, kind of starting out. The first is, of course, my favorite, and that is the Harley-Davidson 883 Sportster. This bike has been around for a very long time, and it is, in my opinion, the quintessential starter bike. Also referred to as a quote-unquote girl's bike in some circles. I myself do not look at it as such, as I am a Sportster owner. This is one of Harley's smallest motorcycles with an 883 displacement, producing about 50 horsepower and weighs in around 560 pounds. For me, it was perfect as far as a first Harley, and after riding it for a couple of years, I was able to transition to an 88 cubic inch twin cam fat boy. The other good thing about the Sportster is that there are tons of used ones online, and you should be able to find one for a decent price. There's also a lot of parts out there for these bikes, which is good considering you may drop it a time or two, which I know I did. Unfortunately, if you want to buy a new one in 2023, you may be out of luck. However, I would put the Nightster in this category as well. Although it has a higher displacement of 975cc and higher horsepower at about 90, it weighs considerably less at 480 pounds wet weight. Now, if you want to stick with the American styling, there's the Indian Scout. The Scout, in my opinion, is Indian's Sportster type model. It has a higher displacement at 1130cc and higher horsepower at 100, but it shares a similar weight at around the 560 pound mark. The real nice thing I like about this bike is that it's liquid cooled, so you should not have to worry about overheating. And Indian, like Harley, has a good amount of parts available should you need them. Indian's distribution is growing, and that is a good thing for the motorcycle industry as a whole. And if I were starting out today, I would definitely take a look at the Scout. Now, how about getting away from the American models? I think that another classic for someone starting out would be the Triumph Bonneville T100. This is a smaller bike with a displacement of 900cc, putting out about 60 horsepower. It also comes in with a nice weight of about 450 pounds. The Bonneville has been around for years, and it appears to be a quite reliable bike. The styling is also nice on this, as it has a touch of that nostalgia that some might like, and it also comes with a classic exhaust note. Now, being a lower displacement engine, it is not meant especially for speed, even though the bike was named after the Bonneville speed flats. And around here, this bike would definitely be an attention getter, as you mostly only see Harleys and Indians. Now, you may also not be a street bike person, so perhaps you're looking for a sport bike. And now I admit that I am not much of a sport bike guy, but from what I have seen, the Kawasaki Ninja 650 looks pretty good. This bike has a parallel twin 649cc engine, putting out about 70 horsepower. The bike weighs in at a nice light 419 pounds, and the price is nice as well at about 9,700 Canadian, or about 8,000 US dollars. These bikes are known for their ergonomics and design, but if I had to pick a drawback of them, it's that they may not be as durable. Now, what I mean by that is that if this bike is laid down or dropped, it may be a total write-off, whereas something like a Harley may be more rebuildable. I'm sure I may get some hate in the comments for that, but what I do know that is, at least around here, the sport bikes are a major reason why our licensing costs are so high. Regardless, this looks like it could be a nice bike for someone with more minimal experience. Now, obviously, this is not an exhaustive list. There are many, many others to be considered. These are just a few bikes that I would look at if I was starting out, or I would recommend somebody who is starting out. But, you do you. There are plenty of people out there who start out on much bigger bikes and have no issues. However, there are lots who end up smashing an 800-pound Harley just starting out as well. My advice is to think with your head and not with your heart on this one. I could also take that advice myself, by the way. But let me know in the comments what type of bike you learned on. And at any rate, I would always recommend a motorcycle rider's safety course, no matter what you choose, even though, admittedly, I personally have never taken one. I probably should, though. But anyway, that's it. That is all I have for you folks today. So you guys get out there and do some good riding while there's still some of the summer left, and we'll see you in the next one.